And so, yeah, I'm out there in the street, and then I see the yellow vest, and I just run up to him. I'm like, brother, solidarity, man. We got to defeat these bourgeoisie pigs. And he looks back at me and he says, sir, I need you to keep moving in the crosswalk, please. So I guess it just hasn't reached our shores yet. I felt can help you.
Wait. So you were trying to protest in solidarity with the French La Resistance? What were you in Manchester?
Well, that's the thing. I was in Manchester, and the thing about it is, like, I need to come to terms with how little I actually pay attention to things these days. Because all I heard was that yellow vests were leading a revolution, and I just kind of got excited.
Pimpmunk, is there a lot of protesting in Mississippi in solidarity with the French?
Of course.
Yeah. How do the Mississippi folk protest in kinship with our French brothers?
They talk about something else.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the YouTube Saints. We got Pimpmunk back on the show for a nice, relaxing, fun, goof-ass Friday evening. I'm Jeff Holiday. I think I still am. I don't know, man. I'm brain fried tonight. I might say some really stupid shit.
That's okay. I am Batman, as you're all well aware.
That's true.
Wizard of Oz has a beard.
Fat man.
Yes, he's Fat Man.
Oh man, I'm working on it.
And the only Green Bay fan I'm aware of in Mississippi. That's fine.
Oh, dude, there's a lot of us, man.
There's a lot of Green Bay fans all over the fucking place.
Brett Favre brought us to the Green Bay, man. He was a Mississippi boy.
No, okay.
Oh yeah, he fucking was in Mississippi. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I started cheering for the Packers because my biological father lived there. So,
see, I'm on a diet right now. It's not on purpose though. I got this big box of jalapeno and cheese jalapeno and cheese filled microwavable corn dogs. I couldn't help it. I went shopping when I was fucking hungry, which is a terrible idea. Don't ever do that.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
But the microwave that's installed in this house that we rent is so fucking old. It doesn't matter if we turn literally everything else off on the breaker. If we run that microwave for longer than 45 seconds, it shuts down. So I can't even eat my fucking corn dog. So I've just been sitting here starving to death, man. Fuck.
That fucking sucks.
Someone tried to tell me I should eat a salad. What the fuck are you trying to do? Kill me?
You know,
well, eat a salad, but just throw the corn dogs in the salad.
That's what's up.
Yeah, chop the corn dogs up, and then it's just like, I mean, you're gonna sit across from someone eating a chef salad, which is pretty much just an Italian sandwich on top of a bed of lettuce. They're like, yeah, you go ahead and try and talk shit. Leave me and my corn dog salad alone, you fucking fascist.
We just invented a salad, a corn dog salad, man.
Look at that. Food wishes.
Some people are saying you could use the oven, but look, let me tell you something. When you're a person who is like obsessed with eating corn dogs, you do not possess the type of attention span it takes to actually like oven. What is it called when you make something in an oven? Ovening a corn dog.
Baking.
Yeah.
Oh,
heating
up. Cooking.
But see, in the microwave, the corn dog, the dough doesn't get like crispy.
Yeah.
That's true. But I don't want it crispy. I want that shit to like. I don't want my body to have to work at digesting a corn dog that's full of jalapenos. I want the whole thing to just slip right through me.
I gotta say, Jeff, as a guy, for a guy who doesn't smoke weed, you have like the most stoner style diet excuses I've ever heard.
Dude.
Like, I can picture it like high off your tits, like, just eyes as red as a fire engine, just like waiting for your microwave to shut your house's power down while you hope your corn dog gets warm enough to make it worthwhile, saying, yeah, man.
I tell you what, though, what I am considering doing, I'm considering pulling that fucking stick off and sticking a metal skewer. I got a bunch of metal skewers and like cooking it over a campfire in my backyard. That would be cool. Like campfire corn dog? Yeah.
That's all right.
I mean, I dropped one in my deep fryer. The funny thing too, I'd never eaten corn dogs growing up, like never. In fact, the first time I had a corn dog was this year while I've been 35.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because Quinn insisted. She's like, Dad, get corn dogs, Dad. I'm like, okay. She's like, you got to eat them with mustard. And I'm like, okay. Holy shit.
Your kid's smart, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. No, she's deviously, dastardly smart. Actually, today, actually, I watched her almost choke to death. And when I was done watching, you know, I helped her, but it's so
Let me
no,
watch it for a minute and see what happens.
yeah. It's like wait. Well, I mean, I keep trying to teach her because she did it once before, and I've told her a few times, like, if you're ever choking, you got to make the choking sign, right? This kid though, and we've all seen some people when they start choking, they start freaking out or this or that.
Right.
She just started looking annoyed, like really annoyed and frustrated with the fact that she couldn't breathe, and she was eating mozzarella sticks. And this is the second time I've seen this happen too. Like last time it was a pickle and a burger because she wasn't chewing right. This time she's eating. I bring her out after I pick her up from school. I'm like, you hungry? And like, she's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, let's go down this place. I get her a basket of mozzarella sticks.
Good shit.
And yeah, and well, here's the weird thing. You know how like kids a lot of times you give them a sandwich and they'll take the sandwich apart and then eat each piece.
Yeah.
She started doing that to her mozzarella stick. She started peeling the breading off of the cheese and then just eating the cheese. She's like, I don't like the crispy stuff. I'm like, okay. Well, she starts choking on just this massive gob of mozzarella. And then she's just like looking at me like, and I'm like, what? And she's like, I'm like, what? Are you choking? She's like,
if she could talk, she'd be like, hey, this is bullshit.
pretty much that was her attitude. And then like, so like, I was there with my buddy Jetty. Jetty was with us, and like he really like flips out, and he jumps up and he goes to start giving her the Heimlich, and then she's like, and then she just starts trying to dig the cheese out of her throat. Well, she starts getting it out, right? Finally, she gets it all out, and she just kind of like, she's like, it's on her fingers, and it's gross. And she just flicks it on the plate, and she's like, wipes her fingers off. She starts peeling another mozzarella stick, and like she's got the tears streaming down her face just because she was like she couldn't breathe and she was choking. Didn't give a fuck. Didn't phase her at all. She's like, well, this is stupid.
A near-death experience is no excuse to stop eating cheese sticks.
No, hell no. You gotta keep. But by the way, never use the Heimlich. If you use the Heimlich, that's supporting the Nazis.
Why? Because it's German?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Let them die, because if you do the Heimlich, you're Hitler.
He'll die a patriot.
Yeah, it's like I would rather I would rather die a global citizen than be rescued by a Nazi maneuver. It's like, bitch, no, this isn't the Wehrmacht doing a fucking pincer attack here.
I feel
Keep your ass joking to death. But if that's how you feel, well, then I guess you could just go starve to death with the rest of the communists.
Hell yeah. That would be, but I wouldn't be surprised if anybody came out and said some shit like that, like the Heimlich supports Germany, Nazis.
I really, actually, you know what? I think tomorrow, before I really get back to work, I will write like an 800-word op-ed under a pseudonym and pass it off to the Guardian.
Fucking do it, dude.
Absolutely. Well, in a world where Lacey Green is being called a fucking alt-righter, I mean, anything.
And Dave Rubin is being called a liberal.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Oh my God. What the fuck? Everything's bananas.
Everything's up on its head, everyone.
Mm-hmm. We live in the upside down now.
We do. It's fucking weird, man.
And I feel like Netflix let me down because they made that place look a lot cooler than it is. This place looks the same, except it just sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember at the end, so we're nearing the end of 2018. You remember how at the end of 2017 we were like, it can't possibly get any worse? I don't think it got worse. I think it just got lamer. Like
it got boring. It stayed shitty and got boring.
Yeah. Like 2018. I mean, I had a lot of really cool shit happen in 2018, but like my life.
You met me.
Yeah, we got to fucking hang out. Like, there's adventures all over the place, but like the world was just lame as fuck. I don't know. It's weird.
We need more fucking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think we should revise our use of that word just so we're clear about things, because I feel like a lot of people got genuinely fucked all year.
Yeah, but I'm talking about good fucking.
Yeah, I don't know
Right.
how many people actually made the sexy time, which is a preferable way of saying, intimate relations is you make the sexy time. Yeah, there's a bunch.
Fucking.
There's a bunch of that anyway, at least for me. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, but there was a lot. Yeah, there was a lot of fucking going on. It just wasn't the fun kind that you'd prefer.
It just wasn't good.
Mm.
I mean, I think everybody should just start having sex with each other.
Actually,
Don't question it. Don't ask. Just do it.
I'm gonna go a step further, actually, because if we're really good, don't ask no questions. Like, seek, they can give you, if they can take consent away after the fact, they can give it after the fact. Oh boy!
If you could take a dick, you could dodge a ball. I don't know where I'm coming with that, but
Go to a house with a bowl full of roofies and have fun.
No.
I never had a house with a bowl full of roofies. I did at one point live in a squat house that had a candy dish full of legal amphetamines. That was weird.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, I went to a boat party one time and actually seen it looked like the Scarface mountain of cocaine.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh my god.
And I was like, oh my god, I'm not gonna do that. 5 minutes later, I had my face in it.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, the appropriate thing to say is I'm not going to do all of that at once.
I had sworn off cocaine a long time ago, and this is probably 2010. It was 2010 at Burning Man. Dude pulls out a Scarface Mountain, and I was like, and he just hands it to me. And he's like, "Do whatever you want." And I'm like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, just went straight into it. Like, bad idea. Bad idea, by the way. I threw up.
And in the event any of you bought that line about Jeff swearing off cocaine, he also has a bridge he'd like to sell you.
Well, I swear things off
And
all the
it's
time.
made of cocaine.
Dude, I do you have any idea how many times I've quit smoking? I'm really good at it.
Yeah, I wake up every day quitting tobacco.
I quit smoking.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then he started again. Yeah, I quit smoking when he ran out.
Yeah, but Marlboro still makes them.
That's
They
right.
started putting these little white slips in the packs of cigarettes now, saying it will kill you. No shit, Sherlock.
That's why I'm smoking them.
Yeah, I want to see the person though who's been smoking for like 15 or 20 years, and then and then Philip Morris starts putting those little inserts in there, and they pull that out like, oh shit, really? Oh, what the fuck have I been doing this whole time? I'm done with these.
I know, right?
I want to meet that. I want to meet that person.
I've been smoking since I was 12 years old, and I'm 41. So I've been smoking a long fucking time. I just take that paper and throw it away.
I take that paper and then when I run out of cigarettes, I just use it to roll the cigarettes out of the shit from my ashtray.
Yeah, well, yeah, dude. I got a big old bag. See, I roll sometimes for a hobby, and you average out 78 cents a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but they taste like shit.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. They taste like absolute garbage.
I used to have a little slidey machine, and I get like the pipe tobacco because it was cheap.
That's what you get. Yeah.
Oh God!
I got this big ass pump machine, dude. It's like fucking. I can shoot out a pack in a minute.
That was a nice thing though. Before legalizing weed was cool, when we all just had to like commit crimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to when I first started doing that, I thought I was such a fucking genius. I'm like, I'll put weed in with my tobacco, and I'll smoke it at the bar, and no one will know any better.
Hell yeah,
and it worked.
It did.
Yeah, I threw them all over the place.
I want them to make tobacco illegal, because if they do, I'm gonna be the richest motherfucker in the world. Because I'm gonna start the largest black market cigarette fucking underground scene. And I'm gonna be like Tony Montana of cigarettes.
You're a bunch of cockroaches.
Yeah. You got to admit though, and it kind of gets back to your point about people need to fuck more. But if you look at the anti-smoking campaigns that have been launched over the years, right? They spend a whole bunch of time trying to convince you about how it'll kill you, and everyone's like, "Yeah, I know." And they're like, you won't be able to play basketball. And they're like, I don't play basketball.
I watch it. I don't play it.
And then finally they started coming out with these videos aimed kind of at teens and like the early 20s set and they're like, if you smoke, no one's gonna want to fuck you because you smell and taste terrible, and everyone's like, get the fuck out of here.
Nah,
smokes.
That's right. If she smokes, she pokes. Real quick.
Yeah.
Addy Monster says, holy shit, I can't believe I made it in time. I fell asleep standing up while waiting for my Hot Pocket to finish. I only woke up because a microwave beeped. Much love to my boys. I'm sorry ahead of time if I pass out before the end. It's been a week. She also says, hey, Pimpmunk, I'm Germanic, and I'm here to tell you that we're not all aggressively holds arm from Heiling. Not all knots. Goose steps in my computer chair. Not all knots. Ushers a number of minorities into a summer camp. Okay, we're all Nazis. You got me.
That's great.
And Jables Movie says, toaster ovens are your friend, Jeff. The turn off automatically and everything is better. Yeah.
Actually, the toaster oven will actually blow your breaker before your microwave will.
Probably. Well, this is an ancient microwave. Ancient.
Oh. Well,
meth lab will do it too. Fuck.
Oh my god, dude, tell me about it. When I was in New Orleans the first time, we were trying to like get amenities, but we were all really poor and broke. And this one, we had some neighbors who were homeless. Not you can't really call them homeless because there were a lot of empty houses that everybody was staying in. You know,
transient folk.
Yeah. Anyway, so she was very cracky. But she knew that we were looking for a microwave, so she rolls up with her bike, and this fucking goddamn 50-pound microwave balanced on the handlebars sells it to us for $5. Let me tell you something. This thing worked, but it could only make food tepid. Didn't matter what, it could be totally frozen, and it would heat it up. It would defrost it, and it would technically cook it, but it could not make food warmer than 65 degrees for some fucking reason. I don't know why.
But I love how you said she was kind of cracky.
I just love
Very
too.
cracky.
Well, I mean, part of me wonders. It's like, all right, on the one hand, she could have just done the thing where she just found a microwave that didn't work that somebody threw out, or on the other hand, she could have taken a microwave that somebody thought worked and thought you could use it more.
Well,
Dude,
I mean,
I love drug addicts, man. You can buy some cool, good shit from them motherfuckers.
yes, you can. Yes,
I
can.
bought a fucking ring that cost about $3,000 for $100 one time.
Yeah, when the original owner bought it.
Well, yeah, I was the original owner after that.
Let's put it a better way. Drug addicts are nice because they're like normal thieves, except they don't know how much stuff is worth.
And they don't care. They just want that next. They want that. They're chasing the high, man.
Crack. Yeah, no, it's because you gotta remember, like right after Katrina, post Katrina New Orleans, like most homes were abandoned. So these crackheads, they just go in these houses and rip shit off, and then go sell it to whoever was stupid enough to stick around. But the other thing that was crazy was at least twice a week for a good 4 months the first 4 months I was living there, we had impromptu parties because somebody decided to burn their house down for the insurance money. So we'd all come out, the whole neighborhood, and we'd all stand around this burning house like sharing drinks and shit. It was fucked up.
What is the weird? I mean, because that was 2000. What, that was 2005, right? That Katrina hit.
Yeah, into 6. Yeah.
Yeah, 2005 into 6. Now I lived there in 2012, and I lived in Mid City, which was like relatively nicer part of New Orleans, and that's
a little bit.
I mean, it's it's better than the lower ninth, which is
such a great fucking city, though. God damn.
Oh yeah. Well, the weird thing to it was though, so like our neighborhood was mostly, if not entirely, populated, right? But then there were still like these 3 like big ass houses that were just, I mean, it was like when I went spelunking in a couple of them, like I broke into it just to look around. I didn't even know if there's anything in. All the shit's still in there, like closets full of clothes, dressers full of clothes, personal items and knickknacks fucking everywhere. Everything with like 6 years of dust on it. And then you walk into like the kitchen, or you walk into like a bedroom on the 2nd floor, and like half the fucking ceiling is gone, and it feels like you're walking through a Fallout level. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Damn. You mentioned the dude burned his house. I knew a dude one time. He's a fucking drug addict. He comes up to me and says, John, which is my name. He said, John, punch me. Why the fuck you want me to punch you? Because I'm gonna wreck my car and I want you to fuck my face up. So,
Did you do it?
I did it.
Oh, so.
And he paid me for it.
Yeah. Oh shit! I mean, I worked with a guy in a kitchen years ago, right? He we was working at a pizza shop in the mall, and this is like when I was I was like what, like maybe 22, 23. At this point, I hadn't known anybody who owned any property, and I found out this guy owned like a 3-family apartment building. Right? He was a little older than I was. I'm like, how the fuck did you do that? He's like, you want to know the truth? I'm like, what? He's like, you work here at the mall. When you see somebody just whipping across like an open parking lot, across those spaces, whatever you have to do, get in front of them. I'm like, what? Well, why is that? And he's like, because across one of those lines, they're at fault for anything they do. I'm like, whoa, okay. Maybe. I don't like my car that much.
Yeah, dude, man.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Shit. Fuck it.
It's gonna have to like change the name of this episode to like Insurance Fraud Tutorial Episode 1.
Absolutely.
People do some crazy shit, man.
I love.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I love the dash cam footage of people like attempting to do like they try and jump onto a car and shit, and they don't realize it's a dash cam.
Yeah, they just kind of like the car comes to a stop, and then they just kind of roll onto the hood, and they're like, "Oh!"
I seen one where the car didn't even touch the guy, and he fucking fell down. He was shaking and jerking, and everybody was just looking. I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
This isn't soccer, motherfucker. What are you doing?
All right. Like I can think of a kick from a particular Star Wars episode that made better contact than that. Like, what does that mean? Never mind. Just get up before I fake and pull a kick in your face.
All right.
But if anybody else there wants me to punch him in the face, I'll do it for money.
Just saying, he's offering a service, people.
Yeah.
Now, remember, I hit hard though.
This is
Yeah.
Pimpmunk graduating from his last grand money making scheme to be a cam girl. Didn't work out like he hopes, and now he's just like, well, I'm good at punching people in the face.
Yeah, now I just got a sore ass and broke. It's fucking crazy.
Crab90 says, I think we should all take up Detective Rust Cole's philosophy of pessimism. Let's all make a conscious effort to deny our biology and stop reproducing. Yeah, but reproducing is fun, man. It's even more fun to practice.
Well, I like to tell myself
you make
I'm
them
a
and you're
witness.
bored them. That's your thing to do.
Well, how's it go? I think the noble thing to do would be just deny our programming. Walk hand in hand, brothers and sisters, into oblivion.
Why was True Detective season 2 so shit compared to that first one? Motherfucker, it was so
the
good.
first one was amazing. Dude.
Oh my god, I want to watch that again. Actually, damn it.
And I think, in my opinion, Woody's what made that fucking season.
Oh, he was great.
It was the pair of them too, because if it was just the Rust Cole show, it would have just been like watching my channel. But with the two of them, it was the interaction between them that really made it work.
When they got and they had what's cool about it too is if you look at the two actors, Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, you'd expect Woody Harrelson to play Rust Cole and Matthew McConaughey to play his character, but they fucking flipped that shit and it worked so well.
Well, they've worked together before. They got a certain chemistry, man, that just clicks.
Well, I mean, they both bought houses in New Orleans.
Because
that's the huge thing. Yeah, there's the whole thing. Like, I mean, there was even I'm pretty sure it was Woody. I think it might have been Woody. But yeah, there's this whole there was like a video that went around a while back when I was living there, of McConaughey had just moved into his house and he had one of those nice big Victorians, like the 2 stories with like the open shutters, and like you can open the entire front of the fucking house to the world.
Rich people shit.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, you can get, if you get the right neighborhood, you can actually buy one of those for the house of an average split level in New England. But yeah, it's like a video of him just like being greeted by it, and I think it might have been Woody, or it was either Woody or John Goodman, and he like tossed a beer across the street from his upper balcony so they could like toast being neighbors.
Oh,
like,
nice, yeah.
I'll live there.
I told you I got to meet John Goodman when I was working in New Orleans, right?
Yeah, and he's got a hot ass daughter, doesn't he?
He's got a hot ass daughter. His wife.
Is he a nice guy though, like in real life?
Oh no, he's a really nice guy. His wife is super sweet. He's a really nice guy. I only met him once, but it was really weird because there was an armed robbery suspects running around in the fucking area of the Garden District where he lives, and I actually had to go around his house with NOPD. Looking for this armed robbery suspect, but he came running out of the house wearing nothing but a fucking wife beater and boxer shorts. Like, what's going on out here? We're like, armed robbery suspect, sir. Mr. Goodman, we got it. It's cool. Would you let us into your backyard, please? And then we went into his backyard and like looked for him. But yeah, no, we caught the dude too. My lieutenant actually hit him with his car.
Damn.
That's how you do in New Orleans. It's actually, speaking of which, just a little bit of previewing. We will be actually having a bona fide working New Orleans movie star coming on the show very soon.
We will, absolutely. Yeah. That'd be fun.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say the nicest celebrity I ever met was Mark Ruffalo. That dude's fucking.
Mark Ruffalo, really?
Yeah, he is awesome. And when I met him, see, I'm an independent movie guy. I like a lot of shit nobody else has ever seen. And there's this one movie, and I can't think of the name of it because I got a horrible memory now, but I knew it then, and I brought it up, and he's like, "You actually seen that movie?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "It's my favorite movie," and he's like, "That was my favorite movie I've ever done," and it really caught his attention that he found somebody who actually respects film, and we had a long, great conversation.
And let that before we move on to the news and get back to the format, let that actually be a noted lesson. Because there are a lot of people out there who just hate Mark Ruffalo because online he's a feminist, right?
Yeah.
You ain't got no idea what the dude's really like.
No,
for the reason why I didn't like him is because he's all anti-GMO and shit like that. Yeah.
You can't expect actors to be completely with it, though. I mean, after all, I one time had Adam Baldwin and what's his name, James Woods, over Twitter team up on me and tell me that I was an America-hating communist because I thought that because I thought our installing the Shah in Iran ended up being a bad idea in the long run. Yeah, and it's like, you know what? You're talking about actors on the internet,
right?
Like that's the surest fire fucking thing you can hope to get. If you want a recipe for stupid, that's a good one to start with.
And we were only discussing his art, not his political shit, right? We were talking about the art. So, I mean, you can separate that kind of shit.
Oh, he's a great actor.
I love his movie. I love him. And that movie that they did with him and Michael Keaton about the Catholic priest and shit.
Spotlight, yeah.
Spotlight, that fucking movie is so good.
Oh, he was so good in that too.
He was.
As much as I get irritated with him, like, he is an incredible actor. He really is. Some people in the chat are getting kind of confused about the story that I was talking about. I was not a police officer in New Orleans. What I did, I worked security for a very long time. I got accepted for a job. This is the second time I moved to New Orleans. I got accepted to a job with NOPP, and I did armed security patrol in the Garden District. So basically in the Garden District, where all the rich and famous fucking people live, they pay out the nose for a private security company that I worked for. We run around in our vehicles with light bars and guns and everything. We even get a card where you can arrest people under the power of the city of New Orleans. Yeah, it was crazy.
It's kind of like you were a gay stripper in a police.
Nah. But I mean, for the most part, I mean, there was some weird shit that happened, some hairy stuff. But like, for the most part, it was pretty sedate. But when the cops like radioed us, like, "Hey, we're coming in," you knew something like serious is happening, which is what happened with that armed robbery suspect. So,
dude, I worked security for years. There's some weird shit goes on, especially in nightclubs. And that's what I mainly did. Yeah, you catch people doing all kinds of weird shit.
Bouncing and shit. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God, dude. I've been fucked up. I got sliced with a fucking beer bottle.
Yep.
Yeah. Seen people. I had to break people up fucking on pool tables, which is kind of cool, actually.
Well, you know what? Let's get through a news article, and then let's talk about bouncing, because that sounds fucking great. Real quick, before we do, Andy Monster says, the funniest thing a tweaker ever said to me was, Do you have the instruction manual for this VCR? While holding my friend's DVD player. I used to go to some wild parties, man. And then Toya, my friend Toya says, just wanted to say hi and a little kissy face. I have a very big crush on Toya, so hello, Toya. I'm glad you're watching.
You do it.
I like when you're watching me. Anyway,
Absolutely creepy.
Some people say the thought of me doing armed security horrifies me. Shit, dude, whatever. You should have. I look like such a fucking normie. I had all my hair piled up in my hat too. It was really weird. It's a crazy time. Anyway, let's do this first news article. What do you say?
Yeah, this one was again, I haven't been paying attention to shit, so when I came across this, I asked myself, what the fuck? Yeah, so police are probing a wave of hoax Bitcoin bomb threats in the US and Canada. I actually found out today 2 New Hampshire Manchester businesses were actually targeted as well, and apparently ESU went through their buildings and shit. But yeah, U.S. law enforcement officials on Friday were probing a wave of hoax emailed bomb threats demanding Bitcoin payment that caused worry but no damage in the United States, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand a day earlier.
Jesus, ambitious.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, this sounds like sort of like one of those just mass spam bot kind of emails. Hundreds of businesses, government offices, and schools received the awkwardly worded letters threatening to set off explosives. Payments of $20,000 in cryptocurrency were not received. I wonder if anybody paid it. Sparking scattered evacuations of schools and transit facilities before the Federal Bureau of Investigation and other agencies dismissed threats as lacking credibility. Hoax threats were received on Thursday in cities including Washington, New York, Detroit, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Oklahoma City, Grand Rapids, Iowa, Denver, Ottawa, and Calgary, Alberta. By the way, Reuters, Iowa is not a city, and there's only one Grand Rapids, most people think.
Anyway,
officials provided no new details. Investigation was behind it. A similar wave of emailed hoax bomb threats in December 2015 prompted officials in Los Angeles to close the city's public school system. No education was missed, which national law enforcement officials later criticized as an overreaction, even though we now shut down schools if somebody breaks wind in the bathroom and it's too loud. 2 weeks previously, a married couple inspired by Islamic State had killed 14 people at a California county office building in a shooting. I remember that, sorry. A teenager with dual Israeli-U.S. citizenship was arrested in Israel in March 2017 for making bomb threats to more than 100 Jewish organizations and Jewish community centers in dozens of U.S. states over several months. That's the end of the article, and I'm pretty certain that at least those last 2 paragraphs were just to meet a word quota.
So they're also tying this into like the same internet address is used in sextortion campaigns, where they're basically saying that they have footage of you doing lewd and lascivious things through your webcam, like some weird, like that Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
But they're just scams. Like, that's crazy.
I always loved Joe Rogan's take when it came to that whole thing, which like came down to all right, so you got people like putting tape over their webcams and shit. It's like, honestly, if it's the FBI or just some random person who really wants to watch me jerk off that bad, I'm not the one with the problem. Like, oh no.
Everybody in the chat's saying they're gonna call this Boomcoin now.
I just wonder. Well, when you began saying it about those scammers, though, I was thinking, my first thought was like, oh my god, have the masterminds of the fappening like graduated?
Ooh.
Yeah. I just think it's funny too. They want Bitcoin, which I know the value is still going up, but I mean that's kind of like asking for Enron stock.
We got it.
Okay, everything just went fucking haywire over here. I'm sorry about that.
Nah, that's all good, man. Yeah. No, it's wild shit. And my buddy is calling me right now while I'm live. What the fuck?
Your buddy sucks.
It's my buddy Ian who guested on the show. Actually, let's see do you guys want to hear what he has to say?
Sure.
Let's see.
Hey, you're live on the YouTube Saints, man.
Oh shit! I thought you were done with Saints.
No. 6:30 to about 8:30 Pacific.
You've been talking out of school, Jeff. You've been
shit.
saying like,
Hi,
I'm
nice
done with
people.
this.
I miss you guys.
Oh yeah. Well,
Hi, Nick.
That was gay.
Aloha.
they say hi. I think they're still a fan of your big bald head.
Oh, sweet.
Yes.
She's gonna have to forgive me. I don't remember her name, but I think I know who you're talking about.
There's quite a few. Your head has kind of a fan base at this point.
Oh, yeah,
Shit.
bars there.
Oh,
Bald
Lord.
supremacy.
Yeah.
Well, hi, thanks, people.
Well, how about I call you after the show?
Yeah, how about you do that, and I won't interrupt your show again.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye, Nick.
Hey, Bubba.
Love you. All right.
What an asshole! I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I know. You know what? You know why I wanted to do that a little bit? Shame him just a little bit, because that means he's not watching the show.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. That I think he understands that unspoken context of like, well, what is so fucking important on a Friday night for you, Mr. Fancy Pants?
It's called life, Jeff. It's called
You
life.
and you want to know something, Jeff? If you want to avoid having friends call you during the show, you just do this. It's this great little trick I do. There's a little button on the side here, and you don't even need to bother with it if you just don't have any friends. So.
Well, no, I have my ringer turned off. I just saw it, and I was like, I'm gonna make him feel bad because I can.
I got sick of getting calls at inopportune times, so I just gathered all the people I loved in one place and told them all to go fuck themselves.
I have a friend of
I
mine.
don't have that problem.
I have a friend of mine who is like terrified to call me now because he's called so many times during the fucking show, and I call him afterwards. I'm like, bro, the only time you ever call me is when I'm live on my show. Like, what the fuck are you doing? So now he never calls me.
He was
That's
trying to
all right.
ruin it.
I know.
He was trying to fuck with you.
All right, Pimp, what's the craziest story you have from when you were bouncing?
Oh, dude, man, I could just pick one. Well, I'll tell you what, the worst I ever got hurt doing it was actually a woman hit me in the head with a whiskey bottle.
Ooh, did it break?
No, it's not. It's not like the movies. It's not sugar glasses.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't go. It goes boom. That's the way it goes. And dude, that I had an egg, one of them eggs on my head. It was that fucking big. I had a concussion, and then the crazy thing is, I took the next night off, but I went back to 2 days later. Went in. I was breaking up a fight, and the dude hit me in the back of the head on the fucking egg on my head.
Oh no!
He punched me like twice, and dude, when he hit me, everything went black. I mean, I could hear everything, but I was blind. I was like fucking blind, and I still whipped his ass because I grabbed him because I know how to grab people, right? I taught myself. I grabbed him and I took him and I broke his nose just by like that right there.
Oof.
Yeah, and took care of him. Yeah, just went. And I got hands like fucking clamps, dude.
Yeah.
And then when I got vision, I realized what I did because I was angry. And you're not supposed to lose your temper.
No.
But no, you're not supposed to. And I normally didn't, but I lost my temper that night. But now the craziest thing was when the dude hit me. I walked out of the bar. Well, I kicked the dude out of the bar, right? He told me, I'm going to get you. I was like, well, they always say I'm going to get you. They always say that. Mm-hmm. Well, after closing, I walked out, going to the car with my friend. All of a sudden, bang, right in the back of the head. It was a 2x4 with a nail in it. Hit me in the back of the head with the 2x4 stuck in my head.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember this story.
Yeah, that was fucked up. And then, of course, now this wasn't a bouncing story, but this was like younger days. I got my eyeball popped out of my fucking socket and it was hanging. And I didn't see the thing was I didn't really. I guess I was in shock. I didn't really realize it. Walked in the house, everybody was like, ah, screaming and shit. And I was like, what the fuck y'all doing? Because everybody was. I thought, well, damn, he kind of punched me a lot, but I don't know what the hell was going on. And then I looked in the bathroom mirror. I was like, oh god damn, because it was hanging out. And but he also fractured every bone in this side of my face.
Oh wow!
See, we're gonna have to find a way to actually get Count Dankula to join you on the Morning Wood, and you guys can just exchange stories. Because I remember, like, last time he was on this show, I think it was the last time he was on the show. He was talking about when he was bouncing at some like bar in I think he's from Glasgow, and he talks about like what is it like some guy's I think it was a guy's girlfriend. Yeah, like some fight altercation happened. The girl ended up pulling a screwdriver out of her purse and stabbing dude in the eye.
Ah, yeah.
Stabs his eye clean out. And then when the fight's all done and shit, and like the assailants are gone, emergency services are coming back, and this fucked up Scotsman who's now missing an eye goes back in with like his whole shit fucked up. Sits down, try to have a drink. And like, mate, your fucking eye's gone. Your eye's gone, son. Like, this guy tell me you can't have a drink. Like, well, there's a fucking ambulance outside for you, son. Like,
Fuck.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Well, one of the most legendary stories I've told on here, everybody, some of your fans may not know, is when I bit the dude's testicle.
No, I want to hear this one again. This is one of my favorites.
Well, I got enough. We were fighting, and I went down. And he honestly, he was kicking my ass. He was beating the shit out of me. I was like, "This is a tough son of a bitch," and but he fucked up. He put his knee up on like this shoulder, and his crotch was right there. So I'm like, okay, he's really gonna fuck me up, or I'm gonna have to bite that nut.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep.
And there was jeans there, so I knew I was going to have to bite hard. And I did, and I felt it squish in my mouth. It was like oh, I fucked him up. And of course he started screaming, and I seen the blood through blue jeans now, just dripping out of the fucking jeans. Woo! And he went back, and I got on top of him, and I fucked him up. But I already fucked him up, but I fucked him up worse. But yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, dude, let me tell you, this is the mentality of a Southern boy back in the day. Now, I ain't like this now. I'm broke down, dude.
Now.
But it was pretty much. I'm not gonna fight fair, because what's fair about hurting somebody?
Oh no,
there's no such thing as fair fight. So if you're gonna try to hurt me, I'm going to do my damnedest to hurt you worse.
I think that's what a lot of people don't understand about fighting. Like when you're doing something like MMA or sport fighting or sparring or whatever, like that's one thing. You got rules for a reason. There's a goal that you're actually going for. But I mean, honestly though, if you're in a fight, like their only object is to fucking win. So this whole like, we're gonna fight with honor. Fuck you. If it was about honor, you wouldn't be fighting. Shut up.
It's the difference between an opponent and an enemy. Like if you're sparring or fighting for an agreed upon fun reason, or even if you agree ahead of time, if it's just like, because again, like if you end up in a street brawl or a bar fight, that's just violence happening. If you and another dude agree to meet and fight each other because you have no other way of settling your differences, like that's the kind of thing like I could kind of see, like if you're taking needless cheap shots and they're not taking them, well then that's more of a duel. But yeah, if you're attacked or you're in a fucking bar fight, that motherfucker's just your enemy. Your only objective is to hurt them.
I'm gonna tell you, I seen something. The craziest thing, one of the craziest things ever seen is my uncle. Now, I come from a family in my area. There's two families. I'm gonna say it's the Varels and the Hells. No, it's like seriously. There's two families. Everybody knows that they were the baddest son of bitches around. And I came from one of those families. But I got an uncle, and I seen this. Dude hit him with an aluminum baseball bat 5 times. He never hit the ground. Oof. He took that shit, took the bat away from dude, and beat his ass. And I'm like, I don't want to fight my uncle ever.
Yeah.
But then I fought my uncle later on.
My main position's always been really simple. Like I mean I like watching violence. I like watching sporting violence. I don't even mind watching like fights on YouTube and that kind of shit. Like it's fine. But like I really, really, really don't like being in a position where like I have to hurt somebody, which is weird because I was a bouncer for a really long time, and I was really good. I was a really good bouncer. But I hated getting into violence. So I was a really good talker.
It's a big thing. It's a really big thing about It's not. See, the stories I got about getting crazy was not bouncing stories.
Yeah. Like when you
bouncers, you got to keep you calm and cool.
You got to keep it calm, and like 95% of it is talking to try and avoid a fight and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But when it gets fucking nuts, man, like holy shit,
Crazy.
The Black Lips show in Portland, Oregon was a fucking absolute disaster. Absolute fucking disaster. It was wild, man. I was doing stage bouncing. I had already had to like kick a couple of people out. Had to drag this one chick out. But I go back up there and I'm watching the side of the stage, and all of a sudden this highball glass comes flying out of the crowd and it cracks on the bassist bass. The dude gets so pissed off. This is the bassist from the Black Lips, which they're a really cool band too. Really good music. He throws his bass down and he jumps into the crowd and starts fist fighting.
Damn.
And the lead guitarist sees him jump and goes, "Oh, fuck," and drops his guitar and jumps into the crowd, too. So me and the other bouncer on the stage are like, "Oh, fuck!" And so we run up and we start pulling the band out of the crowd. But while we're pulling them out, people are trying to rip the monitor speakers off or climb up on the stage. So I'm having to kick people in the face, one-legged, while I'm pulling the fucking guitarist out of the goddamn crowd. It's absolutely insane. Finally, we got them out. The crowd pulls me in, starts beating me up. I start fighting back. Manage to get out. By the time I stand up and the crowd's kind of starting to calm, beer bottle comes out of nowhere and cracks me right in my eyebrow.
Fucking hurts.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that one cracked and it fucking cut me deep too.
Now
But,
I do want to like tell everybody that the stories I have, I kind of tell it as like a warning to younger people because I am not that way anymore. In my 20s, I was stupid. I was crazy. Here's the thing: I wanted to die, but I didn't have the courage to do it myself. So I tried to get somebody else to do it. But now I'm like, yo, you don't want to be like me because I wake up at night with cold fucking sweats. I had like 25 concussions, migraines. Shit ain't fun. You think you're a badass? You ain't a badass. When you're 40 and crying because you did all that shit, you're going to regret it.
Just in case there was like legions of you guys watching out there, anybody watching in the reruns who's watching Pimpmunk here saying, "Man, I wish I could be that dude."
Yeah, you can't be me, and you can't be me because I'm the baddest mother. No, I'm joking. But I mean, I can handle my own. I'm old, and crippled now, so.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you fight too fucking much. You get banged up and beaten up, all gnarled and old. It's happens to all of us.
But I can still eat pussy.
Yeah. Addy Monster says, never gone to bar fight or bounced or anything, but I watched a bouncer slap a guy in the back of the head like a pissed off dad. Knocked his hat clean off and his teeth audibly clinked on his glass. He politely left after that. That's a good one.
Damn.
That's a good one.
I was at a bar one night. I wasn't even working. I was there, and I seen the bouncer was breaking up a fight, and the way the dude was punching, my friend said, "Oh, there's a guy behind him, right? Guy behind the bouncer. He's punching him in the back." And I looked at the angle of his fist, and I'm like, "He's not punching him. He's fucking stabbing him." And the bouncer didn't even realize he stabbed him like 8 times. And the bouncer didn't even realize it.
Holy, well, I mean, stabbing. Oh my god.
Downtown here, I know, like the best bouncers that are there, like, and I'm talking like most effective and most professional, because they like the bars here actually recruit out of MMA gyms.
Oh yeah.
Which, and it's not just because they're badass fighters, but because I mean, I've told the story on the show here before about dollar store crackhead Aquaman. Yeah, and like long and short, dude gets kicked out of a bar, and then he gets kicked out of 3 more, and I just followed him up and down the strip, waiting for him to really cross that line with somebody. He eventually ends up back at the first bar we were at, and this guy Juan is big guy, but fast as fuck too, and he trains at Burgess MMA. And this guy like straight up smacked him and was like cussing him out and even spit on him, I think, right? And what was remarkable wasn't how bad he fucked dude up, but the amazing amount of restraint. Like, he wasn't even angry. He wasn't phased. He just gets dude's arms together so they can't do nothing to him anymore. And he puts him on the ground, and then he gets the whole bundle under his knee. And he's just like, "Yo, when you guys call the cops, please?"
He hogtied him, basically.
Yeah, he just had him on the ground, and he kept him there for like 10 minutes, and the guy kept going, fucking pussy, fight me. He's like, I already won, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
I already won. Stop.
It's
What
already over,
what your
man.
friend, what the bouncer you're talking about realized, and I did too, is it's a job. It's nothing personal. It's just a job.
Well,
And you get paid shit too, you know.
Yeah,
But,
well, it's also,
dude,
I
it
mean,
pays so shit. After I got my ass beat by a whole fucking crowd for that Black Lips show, I only worked 2.5 hours at $8 an hour, so I took home $20. Like bloody and beaten,
I had a
almost
set
had a
price.
fucking concussion. Jesus.
I wouldn't work in a club after a while. I mean, when I first started, I did, but after a while, I had a set price. You had to pay me a certain amount of money because I was good.
see, that's the thing though. You guys are getting $8 to get your potentially get your asses beaten.
Well,
Meanwhile,
that's because we're crazy.
No. I was in security for about 2 years myself, except like I was doing mostly facility and then occasionally like weird investigation shit. Because here's a little known fact: the famous Pinkertons of the Old West.
Yeah.
That company still exists.
Yeah.
They're still and it's owned by Securitas Security Services.
Yep.
And if you work for Securitas as a facilities guard, which I did, and that was a shit like when I had a pilonidal cyst, which is like a nasty cyst just the top of crack your ass, makes it impossible to sit, stand, lay down, or whatever. And when I finally went to the ER to get it taken care of, so I'm lying on the gurney and the doc's about ready to operate, and I had to let him know, be like, Doc, I need you to, before you start doing this, I need you to know it's important you do a good job, because I'm a security guard, so my living is dependent on my ability to sit on my ass. But yeah, I mean, I was doing that shit. Like the closest I ever got was they put me on this detail where I had to drive the little security truck around, little Ford Explorer with the little yellow light. I had to drive it around the Central City Ghetto Stop and Shop grocery store, which on the 5th of the month was always a sight to fucking behold. Because my primary job is just to keep people from parking in the fire lane. Outside of that, it's just a show.
Yeah.
But there was a time in which like, if it's like later at night, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Park in the fire lane, go into the store, get your shit, get out. If you're there for more than 20 minutes, I'm gonna ask you just to move your car. Did that. Dude, and he had like this roid boy dude sitting in the driver's seat, his girlfriend sitting in the passenger seat, politely asked him like, "Hey man, yeah, you've been here about like 25 minutes. You might just take one of those like frontal spaces, big empty parking lot."
Right.
Like we're talking 5 feet away.
Yeah.
He's like, "What the fuck? The fuck? You park here all the time." I'm like, well, yeah, but I'm supposed to.
I'm a security guard, you fuckstick.
I'm supposed to. Well, he's like, fine, you know what? Fuck you, blah, blah, blah. Calls me every name in the book. Pops his fucking truck in the drive, and then peels out, like, does a mini burnout as he's taking off out of the fire lane. Does this, like, semi-drifty donut thing. Pulls in and sort of drifts into across 2 spaces in an empty parking lot. At that point, I'm like, I don't even give a fuck. And then his like front tire even goes up on the median. I'm like, you know what? No, I don't give a shit. $12 an hour ain't enough for me to give a fuck about that.
Mm-hmm.
And well, then I got the windows open so I can hear pretty well, and I see he's starting to get one of those violent, I'm gonna shake this bitch because she's not listening kind of arguments with her. Yeah. But I could hear what they were saying, and she's pleading with him, saying, "Baby, don't do it. Baby, don't do it. No, he's just doing his job, baby." I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, really? And then I see this dude. He hops out of his truck. He's like fucking shirtless and shit, and he's got that like I've never been able to do anything except paint houses and haul shit for a living kind of farmer's strength. Which is genuinely more terrible than I go to the gym, because you know that muscle is just meant for doing stuff.
Right.
I hop out. I'm fucking scrawny little fuck time. I hop out and I've got my mag light. So I'm like, well, not supposed to, but here we go. And I'm like, I'm gonna get my ass beat right about now. And I'm like, I hear this booming fucking voice from right behind me saying, "The fuck is going on here?" And I look, and there's this guy I know who, like, I'd gotten to know him while I was working there. He's like a deli guy. Big mountain, like, both fat and muscle. Just a mountain of a human being. And he's got this giant-ass fucking Crocodile Dundee knife hanging from his belt. And he's just like, and this kid's like, "What?" And he just pulls this thing out, and he just, like, kind of, like, turns his arm just so it, like, shimmered a bit, and dude stops dead in his tracks, and I could see in his eyes, he was weighing his options. He's like, "I want to kill this motherfucker, but that motherfucker would kill me.
Yeah.
I still want to kill this mother. And a little monkey brain, you know, like the ones and zeros slowly started like filtering in, and eventually decided not to. And I'm like, wow, thank you. He's like, oh, that's no problem. I fucking hate my job. Hey.
I don't know what the context was. I think it was one of your stories that you were talking about, Pimp. But Connor typed out, "Who's a man who'd risk his neck for his brother, man? Pimp, can you dig it?"
Hell yeah.
All right,
dig into that bounces back.
Our buddy Donnie says, "Hey, I have to say that message you guys gave the other night to my parents is the best thing for me to listen to on my birthday, which is yesterday. I was 6, so I couldn't really do much, but just rewatching the stream made my day 10 times better. Thank you, Donnie. You deserve it. And once again, happy birthday, buddy." Let's get to the next news article. Let's do this.
I look forward to having your moms as a guest on my show.
That's right. Next week, Donnie's
Sorry
mom.
for that awkward pause, Donnie. I hope that doesn't get clipped and taken out of context.
I had to burp. That's all it was. I had to burp. Sorry. All right. Anyway, so professor hired mercenaries to rescue student from ISIS in Iraq after he said he wouldn't finish his thesis.
I love this story.
Okay, this is coming to us from Fox News. Few students can name a professor willing to go the extra mile to ensure their students finish their studies. Fewer still can say their teacher hired an elite team of mercenaries to save you so you can finish your PhD. But a chemistry professor from Sweden did exactly that to rescue a student and his family from ISIS in Iraq. Charlotta Turner, a professor at Lund University in the city of the same name, took the unprecedented action after she received a text message in 2014 from her student Firas Joumeh, saying it was unlikely he would be able to finish his research due to threats from the terror group. What was happening was completely unacceptable, Turner told the University magazine LUM 4 years later. I got so angry that the Islamic State was pushing itself into our world, exposing my doctoral student and his family to this and disrupting the research. Jumad told the professor to assume he would not be able to finish his thesis if he did not return within a week, because he was stuck in an Iraqi town being surrounded and shelled by Islamic State militants. I had no hope then at all, Jumad said. I was desperate. I just wanted to tell my supervisor what was happening. I had no idea that a professor would be able to do anything for us. And there's Jumad. His family were in particular danger because they are part of the Yazidi ethno-religious group that was subject to brutal treatment by ISIS, which, yeah, the Yazidis are still constantly getting fucked over in the Middle East, who often tortured or murdered the men and sold women into sex slavery. He voluntarily entered the war zone after his wife in the area told him that ISIS had taken over a nearby village, massacring the men and enslaving the women. It was almost as if he'd been
kissing with you.
The threats of danger prompted the professor to take matters into her own hands and contact the university's then security chief, Per Gustafsson. It was almost as if he'd been waiting for this kind of mission, she told the magazine. Per Gustafsson said that we had a transport and security deal which stretched over the entire world. Following a few days of preparations...
Campus security.
Yeah, this is some real shit. Following a few days of preparations, Gustafsson hired a private security company, which then moved into the war zone in 2 land cruisers, with 4 heavily armed mercenaries and one goal: rescue Juma and his family.
Rambo shit.
Yeah, dude, this is some Rambo shit.
I know. That's why I love this article.
After finding Juma in hiding, they sped to an airport in Erbil Airport, an airport in Iraqi Kurdistan, safely escaping the mortal danger. I've never felt so privileged, so VIP, but at the same time I felt like a coward as I left my mother and sisters behind me. Luckily, according to the magazine, the rest of Juma's family survived the occupation, which has since been decimated in the region thanks to pushback by the Kurdish forces aided by Western countries. He successfully completed his PhD and works at a pharmaceutical company in Malmo. The family also paid off the university for the mercenaries they hired. That's fucking rad, dude.
Baller. You know what?
Fuck
like,
yeah.
I think there's some pinkies up for Charlotta Turner. I think there's some pinkies up for the fucking Kurds.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And I would like to invite any ISIS fighter who might watch this show to come on over, go down to Mississippi, because I know a man who just loves to bite your testicle off.
I will. I want some good ISIS oysters.
Oh, fuck, man.
Some Fallujah desert oysters, huh?
Yeah. Dude, that fucking story is it's kind of hard to believe, but I know it's true. It's like incredible, man.
Yeah, dude, that's great.
Fucking Rambo squad went over and fucked some people up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
it's
wild.
like, well, I mean,
That'll be a movie. That'll be a movie, I guarantee you.
well, it's funny though because we just spent a bunch of time talking about security, right? It's funny because not a lot of people are really aware of how thin the line actually is between ordinary, bank guard shit and that higher end security shit. Because when I was a guard at a bank down the street years ago, and when I'd leave, I'd usually go and catch like a last round or last call round at the bar up the street, and I ended up night after night drinking with this guy who worked for Blackwater. And I was like, "Oh, are you ex-military?" They say, "It's like, no, I just worked for Securitas for like 5 years, and I was just willing to go through what they wanted me to go through for the training." And I'm like, "Yeah, what are you doing now?" He's like, "Oh, well, I was actually providing." He was doing sniper cover at a Christian rock concert.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. And the thing,
100%.
Yeah, being a mercenary doesn't require being some badass veteran with lots of history. That definitely helps. You have to meet some minimum qualifications and be willing to go do that awful shit.
You have a certain mindset, like you don't really care if you die or not.
Yeah. I mean, there's to certain. You got to be willing to fight. You got to be willing to fight.
You gotta be willing to go into a war zone. I mean, that's why, I've known who get out of the service, especially combat arms types, who, when they've done that shit for so long, they don't know if they're really ready to try and do anything else. And so they'll go and they'll join these companies. And so instead of making some shitty fucking GI pay, they go back and do effectively the same thing with fewer rules, and they get paid out 10, 20, 30 G's a month.
Sometimes, yeah.
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 In my 20s, I would have done some shit like that. Now, I'll be like, fuck you, I'll shoot myself in the foot before I go over there. But back in my 20s, I would have done some stupid shit. I would have.
So these
I'd
days,
have Rambo'd the fuck out.
These days, you Ted Nugent your way out of having to do it.
Fuck yeah, dude. I cut all my fucking toes off.
You know what's
Get
weird?
Some garden shears. There you go, big dope.
You know what's weird too is when I went to do that New Orleans Private Patrol thing. One of the main reasons why I did was the woman I was dating at the time, who did not end up being the best girlfriend, but did end up being a really good friend. We're still friends, and she's a badass. But she was very, very big into the security stuff. When we were deciding where we were gonna go, we had 3 options. There was a bar in Singapore that she had a friend who was the general manager of, and we could have gone and worked at a bar in Singapore, or there were 2 security companies we were looking into. One was New Orleans Private Patrol, and the other one was one in South Africa. And I'm really glad we did not go to fucking South Africa. I'm really glad. But we were considering it. The pay was really fucking good. Really good.
Just think you could have become a Timcast story.
I just want to say this special drink that I'm drinking in this has fucked me up. Yes, it is.
Yeah, sweet. Hell yeah.
I feel quite nice right now.
Ooh.
It's a touch of vermouth, a few dashes of engine degreaser. Yeah, it's working out.
Some motor oil.
Addy Monster says, Addy Monster gifted subs to the whole damn chat. You're welcome. They're tier 6 YouTube subscriptions. They were very expensive, so you better be grateful. And Addy Monster also says, speaking of pinkies up to the Kurds, my brother spent a lot of time flushing ISIS out of Raqqa alongside the YPG. I won't get political, but I rock a U.S. Kurdistan combo flag patch on my jacket in honor of the brave Kurds who fox those IS roaches out. Straight up, dude. Here's the thing. Let's go to this. Prior to 2017, any kind of talk of ISIS and whatnot was deeply political. But at this point, those fucking cockroaches have been stomped so fucking hard. I don't think there's any way you can politicize ISIS anymore. I don't think so. I think we can all officially, very carefully, or very comfortably, all say that ISIS was fucking scum, and one of the best things to happen was them to be as obliterated as they have so far.
Yeah.
And you can always tell too. You can always tell when ISIS is getting their ass kicked and their fighters are dying, because you see lots of mangy dogs crying for their dead children.
Sure.
Get it? 'Cause
Ooh.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
man.
you know, the
All
pig
right.
fucks a dog. That's how you get an ISIS fighter.
I mean, you know, if we really want to keep fucking up people who engage in sex slavery, next we need to maybe address the Russian mob.
Yeah.
Maybe once
That's
they
a
stop sponsoring the show.
That's a complicated one right there, for sure. Like, okay, so the reason why I even mentioned that, though, was when I was in school a few years back, I met this really interesting kid. He was getting into law enforcement, specifically to be a customs officer, because he had found out that his extended family had been sold into sex slavery. And I was like, okay, well, that's really fucked up. And he's like, yeah, but the worst part is that my extended family, this is like a few generations removed or some shit like that, had actually been transported through Portland, Oregon, through the port of Portland, and put on a fucking ship. I'm like, how the fuck does that even work? Like, your family wasn't even American. He's like, because of the Russian mob. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Really? And he told me all about it, and like, it's some serious shit. It's wild.
Oh, yeah.
Well, keep in mind though. I mean, like, you know, yeah, it'd be great if we could go after that, but there's a whole bunch of Democrats with pizza shops that we need to be worried about.
Yeah.
In the words of R. the Donald, the Russians didn't do nothing.
That's true.
God
Love you,
damn it.
boys.
That's not funny.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Mr.
It's pretty
Trump
funny.
is awesome.
Pip's fucked up.
That motherfucker thought you had to have ID to buy cereal. He's so fucking stupid.
Well, see, this is what happens when you get a man who feels like he's feeling a little constipated. He's like, I know what I'll do. I'll just mix some drain cleaner with gin and drink it out of an Nalgene.
Yeah. I took what it is. This is the blood of ISIS oysters. Yeah.
I got one of them really nice magic bullet juicers. No, I just drop them camel fucker testicles in here anytime I need a fix.
Y'all really want to
You
get
know,
high? You gotta mix your drugs in a neti pot and just shoot that shit straight into your sinus. That'll get you fucked up.
Oh,
I usually pour it in a funnel and stick it up my ass.
that poor woman. I mean, granted, most times I meet a bitch who's got a neti pot. I'm like, that's attractive. But yeah, I mean, well, the poor thing, her brain looked like that recalled beef by the time they found it.
Yeah.
Wait, which one?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I thought you were invoking. No, there was a story I almost wanted to put on last week's show because a woman actually used tap water in a neti pot, and a flesh-eating bacteria got into her fucking brain and ate that shit until it looked like rotted meat.
Damn.
You didn't hear about that?
No.
Oh. I thought you were referencing that. Holy shit.
Wow. Okay. No, I didn't. Anyway, all right. Let's get to the next news article. This one's actually this is from Snopes.
Yeah, they had to check on it, and but I figured this is something especially Pimp could really appreciate. A man puts up sculpture of middle finger as message to town.
That
My
is
dude.
Yeah. All right. Read this article for us, Nick.
Westford, Vermont. A Vermont man who is in an ongoing dispute with his local town is letting officials know exactly how he feels by erecting a large wooden sculpture of a fist with the middle finger raised on his front lawn. Ted Pelkey, absolute hero, fucking legend Ted Pelkey,
Yes.
says he's been trying for about 10 years to move his truck repair and recycling business to his property, but has been unable to get a permit because of the Vermont, the fascies in Vermont there. He says he paid about $3,000 to have the sculpture made, and he put it up on a pole with lights at the end of November. Since then, it's lit and everything. I love this.
He wants it to be seen, goddammit.
Yeah, since then, people have been stopping by during the day and even night to take photos with it. You know, I actually, when I get my truck running, I think I might actually go do just that. Because, we're talking, he's in Vermont, I'm in New Hampshire. There's no way it's more than 3 hours away.
Yeah.
a town official would not comment on Pelkey's case. He has appealed to the state environmental court. What I love too is this was published by the Associated Press. It's on Snopes, and it's filed under revenge. There's a revenge topic.
Excellent.
Oh my god, and it's good. Scaramucci posts nude photos of his wife as revenge for divorce.
Oh,
Did millionaire fire his bank because it did not validate parking? Oh wow.
Crazy.
I am gonna bookmark this. I'm bookmarking this. There we go.
I love the dude that did the statue though. That's fucking great.
And it's such a good statue. And you look at the dude too. That's like the perfect. It's like exactly who I'd hope. You know, it's like he's the dude from your Elks Club. He's the dude from your Rotary Lodge.
I mean, like the thing is, the people when they see a man erect a giant wooden flipping off hand, maybe pay attention because this man might be the next Killdozer. You don't know. You don't know. He's obviously industrious and he is pissed off and motivated.
If he builds the Killdozer, though, I really do hope he mounts the giant wooden hand on top of the Killdozer.
Spring so it bounces around.
Bonga bonga.
Yeah. While he's like fucking destroying the town. Yes.
Wait a second. Stop or we'll be arrested for inspiring terrorism.
Giant.
Fucking
erect.
Great terrorism, but terrorism.
Hey, you know what? That's a good point, though. Dead Wolf brings this up. Why we need to bring the story of Killdozer to Dankula's attention, so Count Dankula does a Mad Lads about the Killdozer dude.
Yeah, he did. Actually, when I saw that he did Lorena Bobbitt, I honestly kind of felt I'm like, oh, it's kind of a stretch. I mean, it's not absolutely, but I mean, yeah, it's like I'm sure there's madder lads you could be talking about. But, you know, how do you follow up? What was his name? Purple Yaki. What was it?
Oh, Purple Aki.
Purple Aki. Yeah. How do you follow Purple Aki up, or that black dog man? And you go, oh, Lorena Bobbitt.
I want to bench press you. Want to show me your muscles, mate?
So this thought back in the 90s got really pissed off and decided she was gonna cut his fucking cock off.
Like, pretty big story though. I remember that shit when it happened.
Yeah.
It was like fucking crazy.
Did you ever watch the porno? The Janway Bobbitt Uncut? Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah,
too.
we were talking about this on the show today. I actually have a fantasy that when she threw the dick out the window, that she threw it like a toxic waste plant, and the dick grew and started like going all over the town and like found a tunnel and went in and out of the tunnel. Like,
the severed and festering cock just grew arms, legs, and a mouth, and then moved to Toronto.
It's just pulsating cock, just with bubbles on it, and
he's running to dry cleaners now. That's the weird thing.
Yeah,
like you'd expect a mutant cock to maybe attack people, but no, he saw some margins in dry cleaning and said, I think I could raise a family on that.
Yeah, dude, he made a lot of money off his cut off dick though. You know, he was in like wrestling for a minute. Like he did a thing on WWF and shit.
I gotta wonder though if he, I would love to ask John Bobbitt the question: was getting your dick cut off the best or worst thing that's ever happened to you?
Oh, that's a good question. That is actually a very good question. Because I mean, he became rich because of it.
Yeah, would anybody know who or what the fuck John Bobbitt is outside of a guy with a, I'd say, unfortunate last name?
Yeah, but let's face it, he was a piece of shit, though.
He was a piece of shit, yeah.
He was a fucking piece of shit. He mistreated this woman badly, and she, went to her wit's end, and she got a knife and whacked it off.
Yeah, I mean, like when I was younger, I was thinking about it and like, oh, you can't cut a dude's dick off. That's fucking terrible. That's fucking terrible. But then, like, if you go by how the court ruled and that he was actually legitimately like fucking raping the shit out of his wife, I mean,
he was an asshole.
I mean, you know what? I think she should have. I don't think she should have cut his dick off. I think she should have bit his nut.
Put a little pimp. Do a Pimpmunk, baby.
That's right. She should have just bit his nut. Don't cut the dick off. That's a little too far. That's a little too mad lad. But just do a little, you know.
I'm honestly surprised we did, because I mean, like, you know, with the hysteria that came out around Game of Thrones, all these dumb bitches naming their daughters Khaleesi, which is such a bad idea. Especially when people actually get to reading the books and find out what that actually entails. But yeah, no, I mean, like, I'm surprised there weren't more
the ass kissing with you.
You know, snips going on, like, oh, I'm gonna turn this motherfucker into a eunuch. He wants to Snapchat with that bitch. No, like, I'm glad.
I'm glad that trend didn't catch on.
I am too. I really am, because I've dated some crazy bitches in my time, and honestly, like, you know, when this YouTube thing falls apart, there's only one thing I got left to fall back on. I'm glad it's still attached to me.
I knew a dude who his girlfriend had buck teeth, right? And she was giving him head, and it was tickling his penis, and he laughed, and she thought he was laughing at the way she was sucking it, so she bit his fucking dick.
No,
Whoa.
no,
Yes.
no.
Yeah, no.
Don't bite the people.
You know,
don't bite the
I gotta
pee-pee.
say though, well, you know, you
Punched
gotta.
her in the back of the head, and that is one time I agree. You should have.
This is something I really hope I hear on like a Honey Badger podcast or one of the men's rights things, is that like it is an underappreciated level of intrinsic trust, which goes into allowing typically a woman, but really anybody to give you that BJ. Because like they basically got a row of possibly razor sharp blades tucked into a series of muscle, and the only reason that it's not making any contact with one of the most sensitive parts of your total anatomy, because they choose not to. That's trust right there. It's like I gotta say,
Feel that.
I put my dick in your mouth, still have my dick, and that's trust. That's bond.
That's the
baby.
reason. That's the reason I only let 80-year-old women suck my dick.
Well,
Because all they
No
can do is
teeth.
they just gum.
Yeah, bitch,
So-
get mad. I don't give a shit.
Addy Monster says, what everybody fails to realize is that John Wayne Bobbitt was actually just improperly circumcised. Too true. Too true. Donnie says, I know you probably answered this earlier, but I'm just wondering how the kid is doing. You said he got pretty sick during your stream earlier today. Also, I'm not going to be joining your labor camp for a while since my parents still have to use my work. Yeah, no, I did my morning stream this morning. I've been trying to get videos done all week, but things just keep interrupting. And then literally this morning I started working. Kid was already sick, so he wasn't going to school, and then I hear barfing sounds. Yeah, no, the kid pretty much was barfing and having diarrhea the whole day. Whole day. No fever, so he's fine. Just he had like a stomach bug or something, and he's asleep right now. So he's fine, but sucks. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll have to do something for a video. Sorry.
Yeah, yours is. Well, it's funny. It's like between the different coasts here, our kids got like radically different experiences. Yours is just expelling every ounce of like food and fluid he can, while mine is just almost choking to death in mozzarella cheese.
Yep. Oh yeah. Kids are great, man.
I even told her too. I'm like, why are you peeling that cheese stick apart? She's like, I don't like the crusty bits. I just like the cheese. I'm like, all right, you understand I have mozzarella string cheese at home, right? If you want a snack. She's like, oh, you do? I'm like, you're only allowed to eat it if you can avoid dying as a result.
Yeah.
Are we square?
Stop the ass kissing with you.
Anonymous says, doing late night inventory at work, joy of joys. And since we're talking about violated members, what was the worst thing to ever happen to your dick? Ooh.
She has a name.
Ooh. Ooh. Ow. Okay. Worst thing to happen to my dick. I got caught in a door. That sucked, but that wasn't the worst thing ever. I did get caught in a door, which was really funny because I had joked about it like I think 2 days prior by getting your dick caught in a car door. It was just the top of the shaft skin that sucked a bit. But probably the worst was I almost broke it. Maybe you guys have seen some of those videos online of like, a porno where, there's pressure and the dick pops.
Not everyone watches copious amounts of e-fuck job.
I know. But I mean, it's done the rounds quite a bit. But I didn't ever break my dick, but I did almost break my dick. It did turn kind of purple for a couple of days because it bent awful. Just awful. How'd I get caught in a door? You're going to have to work that out for yourself, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations where it's like whatever you can imagine caused that. Probably not as weird as what actually happened, I'm going to guess.
Yeah.
I don't even know the story. That's why I don't even try to think of it.
It's so dumb it doesn't even make any sense. So, Nick, what's yours?
Oh, Christ. I mean, other than sticking in crazy more times than I care to remember.
Yeah, other than that.
Now, the worst thing that ever happened, or like the most frightening thing that, because it's two different things.
They say the worst thing to ever happen to your dick.
Oh, the worst thing. Oh, Christ. Well, see, I've always been kind of careful with it. And there was a long period of time didn't nobody touch it but me anyway. And
Sure.
And yeah, and shit, that's a tough one. I mean, like the easy but true joke is just I could like list off a list of names and I'd be like, that was a mistake, that was terrible, that was horrifying. I'd say the worst was actually probably the first blowjob I ever got, because this was like, let's just say like I was pretty fucking convinced she had like a mouth and throat like a shark with just rows of teeth that went back and back and back. And yet I subjected myself to the shit because it's like, hey, it's the first time a girl's touching my dick, and I'm not even out of high school yet, yay. And yeah, that was, I mean, it was like I still can think back to how terrible it was. It was basically like, you know, it was one of those sort of things where like you put it in, it's like, hey, you know, you hear about the guy, he put his dick in an industrial vacuum and the thing got pulled clean off.
Damn.
There's that whole thing about like, oh man, she sucks like a Hoover. No, listen, you don't want a girl who sucks, like who actually applies that much suction, like basically you popped your dick into the vacuum of space or something. No, that's bad.
What about?
But I didn't know it then.
What about you, Pim? What's the worst thing that ever happened to your dick?
I got drunk, passed out, cigarette dropped on my dick, I burnt my dick real bad.
Oh.
Big old bubble on my dick.
Oh.
Now, is this just, yeah, that's pretty bad. But is this dick and balls or just dick? Because I got shot with a staple gun in my nut one time.
Oh, well, they just said dick, but that's pretty bad. That's pretty fucking bad.
It was my friend. He's a dumbass. Yeah.
You want to see a magic trick? Staples your nut to a piece of wood.
No, he just shot
Hey,
the
buddy, check this out.
Yeah, he just walks up to me.
Hey, how's that?
Yeah, that's what basically he did it. Because we used to do stupid shit like that all the time with each other, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. Sorry, actually, I need to revise my answer because I just remembered something, and I think the reason I forgot is I was trying to block it out. But yeah, there was a time I'm fond of using Gold Bond foot cream. You know.
Okay, I like where this is going already.
Well, yeah, it wasn't as direct as you might hope, because I don't think I'd even have one left if it didn't work. And this is the blue bottle. This is the high strength shit.
Right.
And there was a time in which I'd applied this shit to my feet before bed, just because I was fighting off some fucking nasty kitchen jungle rot. And I washed my hands as thoroughly as I could, but, well, no, that's a lie. I thought I had. Y'all can imagine where this goes from here.
Yeah, I did it with a pepper one time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, that was like a Mexican kitchen story. Yeah, where like I was cutting jalapenos and I rubbed my eyes, and for a week everyone was laughing at me about it. And then one of the guys who was leading that laughter was cutting habaneros without gloves the next week, and then went and took a piss. And he's up at the line, and he's like, kind of starts doing one of these dances, and I'm like, so, you know, I'm like, you all right, bud?
Oh yeah.
I'm fine. No, I'm not fine. I need to go home.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will revise my answer as well a little bit, and I will say the worst thing that ever happened to my dick was poison oak.
Ah,
Because I'm really allergic to poison oak, and
Yeah.
it spreads all over me if I get any of it on me. And the 3 times I've gotten it, it all got on my dick, and that was probably the worst. That was awful. I mean, it got all over my body, But the dick was the worst.
What's the red tube that the doctor sticks in your dick? Like, what is it called?
The catheter?
Yeah, I had to have that happen one time. So that hurt. That fucking sucks.
Oh God, I actually completely blocked out all those old school STD tests too.
Oh yeah,
I'd
the
go in.
swab. Yeah, the swab, dude.
Well, like it was funny because like I noticed when they've largely gotten rid of the swab now, right? It's all just blood and urine tests.
Yeah.
And it was funny because like I had to go in for a screening because I'd gotten around a bit, and then it was a good time to go in and make sure everything was all right. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, waiting for the doc, nurse, whatever to come around, and I'm like prepping myself, and I'm just like, oh fuck, this is gonna suck. And they're like, here we go. You don't gotta put nothing in my pee hole now. Although, just quick story on the note of those awful STD swab tests. The first time I ever got one, so I had previously I had been working in a kitchen, right, and it was a pizza kitchen, a lot of flour, a lot of semolina going all over the place, and I was like, semolina.
Whatever. Anyway, go.
All the same. Like I was a dirty at the time too, and I ended up actually getting a urinary tract infection, which is something that's rare with men, but it happened. Right now, this is just after a girlfriend had broken up with me, and I was pretty sure because of all of the unfortunate shit that happens as a result. Wow, I caught something from that nasty hoe. So I went in to get myself tested, and he does that. Well, that sucked, and that was the first time I'd ever gotten that done. Turns out I was clean, and it was just a urinary tract infection. Yeah. Years later, I get back with a girl who I probably shouldn't have been with, but I loved her, and I'm an idiot, and she cheated on me and all that shit. But we get back together, and I'm working in a kitchen again. All of a sudden, the same problem starts cropping up. Now, in my head, I'm pretty sure I know what's going on, and I'm hoping it'll just go away, but it doesn't, so I go into the ER. The doc shows up. We're both sitting in the room. She's with me. Doc shows up, and first thing he tells me is he's like, I'm his last patient before he's going on vacation to the Bahamas. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be wonderful.
Yep.
And he's like, here, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to test here. Well, actually, first off, I'm going to ask you some questions. Then I'm going to give you the STD test. And then regardless, before we even get the results, I'm going to give you this Cadillac shot. It's basically going to take care of whatever's going on. All right? I'm like, all right, but, I'm pretty sure this is a urinary tract infection. Like, listen, I don't have time for this. Men don't get urinary tract infections usually. Yes, and the odds of that being the case. No, well, the funny thing is like, so she cheated on me, and she's still sort of like, she's still sort of trying to like live that down and hope we move past it and all that. And this is like, that was before we got back together. And so she's sitting in the room. He's like, all right, I need to just tell me straight up. She's sitting over here. He's like, tell me straight up. He's like, so the two of you are sexually active, yes? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, all right, do you use protection? And we're like, no. He's like, nope. He's like, have you both been faithful? And I'm like, yep. And the thing was too is I already knew, so I let him gives me the swab, he gives me the shot, we leave. She's hanging her head like a dog or shit on the floor, and she kept that up for a good week. He tells me, he's like, yeah, call this number, the lab will give you the results when they're ready. Turned out that wasn't correct, but I talked them into giving me the results over the phone. Turns out, yeah, as far as STDs goes, I'm clean as a whistle. I didn't feel any need to let her know that.
All right. So Addy Monster says, Pimpmunk, you're a beautiful bastard. I don't know anything about the foosball, but I hear that Brent Farnes is a pretty good guy. I absolutely have to know, do you fuck with traps? And if so, are you planning to be on the East Coast in 2019? XOXOXO.
Probably will be on the East Coast at some point. Do I fuck with traps? Well, if they're a true trap, I wouldn't know, would I?
Ah, a man of culture also, I see. Donnie says, I'll tell you now, since I have to head to bed, I'll try convincing my parents to join me the next time you stream, and the chance I get chosen in the waiting room. I really want to hear what they have to say to you. Either way, good night, everyone. Yes.
Donnie, if your parents are willing to stream, like, don't even worry about the waiting room. Just let us know.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude, I'll hang out with your parents. That's cool. I'm down. I love the idea. That's great.
I'll fuck your parents. I mean, you know what?
I'll fuck them both. One Canuck says, spend 30 minutes writing a joke, no one laughs, 15 seconds making a dick joke, and it's hilarious. Drives me nuts. Well,
welcome to YouTube.
Yeah. That's a streaming.
And dick jokes and fart jokes will always be amazing.
They will. C-Tron says...
Been with us since Rome.
Citron says I was anonymous. Fucking Streamlab just keeps editing out my nickname. I demand recognition. I also hear about Mumkey Jones losing his remaining channels. We're gonna talk a little bit about some stuff at the end of the show.
Yeah.
A little bit. We got one more news article we got to get through though. So here we are. Elon Musk has stopped meetings to watch Monty Python clips. Look at Elon.
Elon's so cheery.
He's very cheery. He's very cheery.
He look very cheery here.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk has stopped meetings to watch clips from the British sketch comedy show Monty Python's Flying Circus, Wired first reported. Musk reportedly did this during the second half of 2017 as Tesla struggled to ramp up production of its Model 3 sedan. At work, Musk sometimes seems almost giddy, occasionally interrupting meetings to insist that his colleagues watch clips of Monty Python episodes on his computer, according to several people. Wired report Charles Duhigg wrote, a particular favorite was a skit of aristocrats debating the virtues of words like antelope versus sausage. He would play it more than once, laughing uproariously each time as his colleagues waited to return to the issues at hand.
Such a fucking stoner, my god. He interrupts the meeting like, it's just like, guys, I want to show you this video I found on YouTube. It's so good. Sir, our stock is plummeting. No, I know, listen, this guy's name is Grade A under A. He's gone now.
The Ministry of Funny Walks, dude. Musk said Thursday via Twitter that he showed the sketch mentioned by Wired because he was attempting to explain why he didn't want Tesla vehicles to have a tinny sound. The characters in the sketch discuss words that have a woody sound versus those that have a tinny sound. A woody sound is said to be positive, while tinny is sound to be negative. This part is true. I was trying to explain that we don't want our cars to have a tinny sound. Musk's behavior became erratic in the months following July 2017 launch of the Model 3. He reportedly skipped or canceled meetings and seemed irritable to some employees. During this period, he also gave an interview to Rolling Stone in which he was unusually candid about the difficulties of breaking up with his former girlfriend, Amber Heard. I will never be happy without someone. Going to sleep alone kills me. Tesla employees have multiple stories about Musk, describing him as a complicated figure capable of inspiring and frustrating them. He pushed people to solve problems and pushed them to exceed their expectations, while others said he could be impulsive and temperamental.
It depends on whether he's hitting that indica or that sativa on a given day.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Yeah, dude.
That's funny.
God, I love Elon, dude.
I know when I and if you guys noticed tonight too, we did have an extra news item. That was because I love that. I just love that news. I love that fact.
So good. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do both of you have the My Circle link open?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's do this.
Yeah. So for a bit of introduction, right? Yeah. So now actually dovetailing on the notion of Monty Python, we now bring you, and now for something completely different. Sure, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. Sure, he's Detective Pikachu. Sure, he was Green Lantern, and no one will ever let him forget it. But this fucking booze commercial. So if you're not familiar, Ryan Reynolds owns Gin.
Aviation Gin, yeah.
I'm going to guess he probably watched the last season of Peaky Blinders and said, I can afford to do that.
Yeah, he can. He absolutely can.
And now he's really enjoying it. And, you take your average, your average whiskey ad or whatever you might find. He really went sensitive with this. He created what I feel is probably the best booze ad for the woke millennial ever.
All right, let's watch it.
Okay. People come up to me all the time and they say, what makes aviation gin so delicious? Most of the time I run away because non-celebrities frighten me. But here is the answer. It begins each morning at 4 a.m.
Hey, because we have to pause it every now and then, otherwise we're gonna get copy strike. But
wait, hang on, no, you know what? Because we get copy strike and demonetized anyway. I'm okay with getting copy striked by Ryan Reynolds.
No. I love Ryan Reynolds, and I would let him come in my mouth, but no, he can suck my dick.
But he can't have my ad revenue.
He can't have our ad revenue. Fuck him.
distillers of aviation American gin rise to greet the new day with 4 hours of silent meditation. From there, it's a quick scoot down to the grove. The citrus fruits are misted using only the tears of aviation's owner, me, Ryan Reynolds.
I do plan to tomorrow. I want to go and find aviation gin at my local liquor store. I don't know if it's actually here in Oregon yet, but I want it.
I want. Well, I mean, I'm a booze. I say connoisseur, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Drunk.
I'm drunk.
All of our botanicals are humanely caught, cage-free, and grain-fed. The reason some people don't drink gin is that strong juniper taste. So, after apologizing to each berry individually,
Mama.
we beat the living hell out of them.
Damn.
It's too good. Too good.
Creating a smoother, more refined finish. To ensure that heavenly taste, every bottle of aviation is ordained by the Unitarian Church of Fresno, California. And then, before it departs home, serenaded with the healing music of Sarah McLachlan.
In the arms of you.
See, the other side is that I would really like to get into a DMCA fight with Ryan Reynolds.
Is that have anything to do with like a dick fight?
Jeff,
joust with penises.
Jeff, you need to learn to crawl before you can learn to run.
You just kind of like try and do like a thumb war, but with your dick until you just start making out. Is that what we're talking about?
There's no telling where things can lead, Jeff. But all I know is that if we get a DMCA strike from Aviation Gin, we can blast Ryan Reynolds on Twitter all day about it.
That's true. That's true. Fuck me. All right. That's how I get to fuck Ryan Reynolds. All right. That's fine. Wait, what?
Some might call this overkill, but the next time you visit your local mixologist and you murder that silky smooth aviation martini, well, who's the killer now, asshole? Aviation, an American original. Now owned by a Canadian.
And yeah, so
I'd like to take this moment though to realize that here on a late night show where literally dozens of people gather to watch, we have to worry about getting DMCA'd for airing a commercial.
Yeah.
For free.
It's kind of fucked up.
Literally dozens of people. God damn.
Who's
You
the
know what?
murderer now, asshole?
Hey, go buy Aviation Gin and tell Van City Reynolds he needs to come on the show.
Actually, yeah, there's 145 people watching right now. If each one of
Really?
you could actually there's 145 people watching right now. If you guys could actually go to Twitter, take to Twitter, tweet this link at Van City Ryan Reynolds there, and then tell him that we are trying to make 45, maybe 50 cents by using his content. I would love you forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And tell him Jeff wants to suck his dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Dude,
No.
Hang on. Real talk though. Real talk. Can you imagine how fucking jealous my wife would be if I blew Ryan Reynolds? That would be so hilarious. I'd do it just for that. I mean, yeah, he's a gorgeous man, of course. But like, and she opens the door. But would you not be absolutely totally jealous if I blew Ryan Reynolds?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
Yeah, no, I know you would.
I've had a
I
crush.
think it's grounds for divorce.
Yeah,
And it'd be
well,
like, was it
you-
the infidelity, ma'am?
Literally
No.
everybody else who has ever had a vagina has had a crush on Ryan Reynolds. So, you know what? That's fine. I'm going to beat you to the punch. Ryan, call me.
That would be pretty great though, is if it got if that happened. It would just be hilarious, not great, but it'd be pretty hilarious if that led to an actual divorce case in which the two of you were in court, and it's like, what instigated this? He performed oral sex on Ryan Reynolds. Oh, so infidelity? No, that's not what I'm upset about. I didn't get to. Wait,
That would be awesome.
why did I become a family court judge? Because you're not good enough to be a real lawyer.
I just want to say I would not suck Ryan Reynolds' dick because I don't like dick.
Would you bite his nut though?
I would.
There you go.
If the motherfucker was hitting me.
You bite his nut and I'll suck his dick. It'd be fine. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let me just. All right, Pimpmunk. If by taking a shot in the mouth from Ryan Reynolds could boost your channel to 1 million subs, would you do it?
Probably. Fuck it. I don't care.
All right. Well, it's now.
Yeah.
Well, no. See, no, it's nice because now we've at least determined that you are on the same level as Determined Lad. Because honestly, that boy would take a shot in the back of the throat for 50 subs and a like on his videos.
Okay, so Nick, you wanted to talk about something at the end of the show here.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, well, here's the thing. All right, so at the end of the show, we come to our cringe of the week, right? And again, on the one hand, I ain't been paying much attention to shit in general, especially not cringy shit. But on the other hand, there's been some shit that's making me fucking cringe to the point where I'm starting to get a fucking migraine.
Okay.
So, as we all know, this week Patreon decided to take the virtuous step of giving the boot to Mr. $2 million in debt, Milo Yiannopoulos,
Right.
Sargon of Akkad, and James Allsoup.
Right.
I don't know who that last guy is, but
It's not important.
no,
$33 no, it's not important who that is.
Okay.
But you know, we both have known Carl for a long time. I went to dinner with Milo Yiannopoulos. Like I've known a lot of these people, and Patreon did decide to boot them. And in response, there has been a very, very quick and very immediate reaction by the viewership in response to this. Now, what's interesting about it, and what I think is kind of fascinating, is so this happens, and obviously some people are going to be very upset. They don't want their donations, the very little bit of their donations that they put forward to the creators that they love. They don't want the little bit of it going to Patreon, and I understand that. I totally understand that. I feel you, and I am on board with that. And if there are options available to you to do something otherwise, so that your protest can be fulfilled, I feel you. I'm cool with it. But here's the problem. Here's the big problem. The people that got ultimately kicked off, and largely the person who was affected the most controversy in this is Sargon. Sargon getting kicked off of Patreon. Because Milo got on Patreon less than an hour. He didn't have an established amount of people that had a relationship with him through Patreon, but with Sargon,
also
he'd been there for years.
Also, well, with Milo too, like Milo jumped on Patreon as soon as it was public that he was $2 million in debt because the motherfucker can't track his finances worth of shit.
What happened to the grant money, Milo?
Yeah, and when you consider that too, and you realize, like, at least I could almost understand it from Patreon's perspective, because the thing was, is when Milo Yiannopoulos was a respectable journalist, writer, presentator, host, and all that, when he was doing actual journalism, even with his conservative bent, nobody gave a shit. And then he put on the mask of a wannabe Oscar Wilde, and then all of a sudden everyone loved it. And now he's $2 million in debt. What the fuck kind of shit is he going to say to get that kind of money?
I know.
Now,
before
we go too much further,
I'm setting up your point because I want you to say your point.
No, by all means.
By and large, the huge thing that we have to keep in mind with this is that the immense response of people who are pissed off at Patreon. I feel you, and I understand where you're coming from. They decided that they're going to kick Sargon off the platform. Should he have been kicked off? Of course not. Of fucking course not. Of course not. He didn't say anything especially wrong that I think he should have necessarily been censored for. I really don't believe that.
I agree with you, because I can think of at least 4 people who are still on Patreon right now who do nothing but say that shit and then get money to do it.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. It makes no sense. It makes no sense, and we are with you in solidarity for that point. However, there's something that I think a lot of people are kind of missing, and this is where I think Nick really knows what's up.
Yeah. So, all right, here's the deal. I ain't a big fan of Sargon myself anymore. I mean, you know what? Politically, the guy has gone from like, I'm going to defend certain values to, yeah, this InfoWars guy seems pretty legit. But that aside, right? Like, Patreon's reason for booting him off the way they did is because of his profile and because of what, like, his name and brand represent. And I do fundamentally disagree with that. Even if, for the perspective that they're, like I said, I can think of 3 or 4 people right now who do nothing but host edgy boy fucking streams where they drop N-bombs all the goddamn time. Not even to make a point, no context required. It's just meant in earnest. But they're still there. And this was a dumbass strike against that. And the problem that comes as a result of such, though, is that Mr. $14,000 a month, who gets paid speaking engagements, who's a fucking international jet setter, and will continue to be such, it's not just in spite of this, but probably more so as a result of such,
Right.
is going to be fine. As far as Patreon, Jack Conte, and all those Silicon Valley Bay Area fuckers who, well, yeah, they're constantly looking for ways to fuck their platforms up while fucking up people they disagree with on the interwebs. They're going to be fine, too. Whatever marginal loss of revenue they experience by people who are protesting Sargon getting booted, they're not going to notice or give a shit. And they're going to continue funding creators who range from fucking Zoe Quinn up through whoever, like, you know, Mr. Basket of the Week might be. That's
your protest leaving Patreon is not going to hurt Patreon.
It's not going to hurt Patreon. It's not going, and the people who've gotten booted. I mean, honestly, if Milo Yiannopoulos go to fucking bankruptcy court, I mean, I'm A, not going to lose any sleep, and B, I'm probably going to laugh myself to fucking sleep that same night anyway. But because how do you fuck that up? But at the same time, the people who these protests are actually hurting are the smaller creators. And it's funny because the sad thing is that to see the reaction on the part of the smaller creators who don't want to lose more because they're afraid to say this openly, you know, you see all of this soft shoe sort of like, you know, like velvet glove style approach to it. Ultimately, though, what it comes down to is like, even though as well-intentioned as it could be, these sorts of witch hunts don't work because the big new thing now has been star subscribe, right? Now, I've even set a star subscribe account up myself.
Dead. It's already fucking,
and
it's already
dead. It's already getting fucked up. And you know why? Because they didn't want to let somebody that they deemed had anti-Islamic views onto their platform. Here's the fucking problem. And this is actually not just the cringe of the week, because we're approaching the new year. I'm going to actually declare this to be the cringe of the fucking year, and you can hold me to it. The cringe of the fucking year is the fucking culture war. All of this horse shit, these backwards, simpering fucking progressive types in Silicon Valley, these insipid shitheels with their Prada glasses talking about inequality, versus all of these neckbeard edgy boys who think that actually just dropping N-bombs actually makes them, like, you know, genuine virtuous fighters for free speech when they're nothing more than 5-year-olds running around yelling the word penis because they know teacher told them not to. This kind of environment is what makes it impossible for new media to really mean anything beyond this edgy horse shit, this virtue signaling crap versus this super red pill fuckery. And the people who get fucked as a result, they're not the bad actors. It's not the bad actors in Silicon Valley who get fucked as these people slug it out in public. And it's not the fucking bigwig fucking big name e-celeb fucking creators who can wage their fucking crusades and drag anyone down that they want because they know that they'll be able to at least climb to the top of the pile of shit when they're done. It's everybody in the middle. And just in the same way that this culture war has made having an honest conversation about social and political issues damn near impossible because everybody's got a side now, at the same time, even just trying to make content, trying to create things and put them out into the world, which, as many of you people out there who are my own subscribers have told me, has meant a great deal to you because you heard something said to you that mattered, that you hadn't maybe heard articulated before, something of that nature. All of that shit, every good thing in the Western society that we're supposed to be defending is ultimately being slowly undone by the nature of this horseshit fucking Antifa versus Proud Boys as the avatars of our politics of the day. And right now, this Patreon question, it's already the latest one. And now all of a sudden we get an alternative and a whole bunch of content creators go over there. And what happens? Oh, that fucking witch hunt about the, they don't support what we believe enough. I can't support you through this thing is already kicking off. Let me ask you this, though. If you're the kind of person, and again, I respect your principles on the matter, but if you're the kind of person who's going to stop supporting other creators, who's going to stop supporting art and content that matter to you in an effort to stand in solidarity with Sargon, let me ask you, did you kill your fucking Twitter account when he got booted off of that shit? I doubt it. So the cringe of the fucking year, let's say the cringe of the fucking decade. It's a goddamn culture war. Go fuck yourselves, red pills. Stuff that suppository up your ass, and hopefully your hair will turn pink and purple, and you can come out somewhere in the middle.
Damn.
That's a good rant.
Good rant.
Don't punish small creators because of larger bullshit societal issues. Who cares, man?
I just want to say one thing though. N-word penis.
Addy Monster says, I don't like dick. Pimpmunk, December 2018. Breaking my little trap heart. Oh no. Oh no.
Stop the ass kissing.
I think, Pimpmunk, I think you're gonna need to buy some bus tickets to heal the wound in this particular heart.
I'm gonna fuck him in the butt.
Fuck him in the butt. Frankly, my dearest, has been away for a while. Hope y'all are doing well. Need to catch up at some time. Love you, beautiful assholes. We love you too, Frank. Fuck, man, I've been just dealing with, like, the kid being sick constantly, but it would be amazing to get some Soul Calibur 6 action going on soon. So let's hit me up. Text me. You got my phone number. We'll play some Soul Calibur. Maybe tonight, if you're not doing anything. Nick 2 Zedes, thank you very much for your patronage, your generosity. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Stop the ass kissing with you.
Yeah, see, there it goes. It's right there. Man. How high are you right now, Pimpmunk?
Fucked up, dude.
Yeah? Fuck, man. I want to get fucked up.
And I'm about to go live after this, too. So.
Oh, yeah? Fuck. Well, you know what? We got links in the description right now. Pimpmunk Live and Pimpmunk X, his like video channel, too. You get to subscribe. Both.
Yeah,
subscribe to both. Right now.
Absolutely.
Right now.
Yeah, new videos are coming and all that good shit, so yeah.
That's
maybe tune into his nighttime stuff. He's a little lower energy. If you catch him in the mornings during the morning, which is the real show.
The Morning Wood is the shit, dude.
Yeah.
Our own the third Saint Anna Hot Heart, she's on the show all the time. She's on the Morning Wood with Pimpmunk over on Pimpmunk Live. You should watch that shit.
Yeah, she's on my wood.
Yeah, I like to think of the Morning Wood as like, it's like a neighbor show,
Yeah,
sister show.
Yeah, it's not necessarily in the family, and I'm not about ready to fuck my sister, but I trust it enough to go through my fridge and not take too much.
Well, like some real
I'm fat.
talk.
I'll take everything.
Well, some real talk though, like, and this is from the heart, man. Like, when I'm not doing my own live stuff, I have options for shows that I can go on. I get invited to different like podcasts and shows like that. But honestly, like, I usually don't go on them. But the moment that anytime Pimpmonk's like, hey, man, do you have the available opportunity to come on the Morning Wood? I always do. Because it's always really good. It's good energy. It's early morning. Just kind of kick it. Get some positive aspect to your fucking day. I love Morning Wood.
Hell yeah.
It's my favorite shit, dude.
Yeah, we had some good-ass conversations, too, the other day.
Yeah, we had a really interesting talk the other day. I'm moving the show to OBS, too, so... It'll be more professional looking starting Monday, and eventually we're moving over to Twitch. So.
Oh yeah. No, that's where it's at though. Bezos knows what he's fucking doing, man, for sure.
Yeah.
Donnie says, can't sleep because of my cold. Might as well throw some more money at a couple of drunks while I'm on a bunch of NyQuil. Hey, you know what? I'm about to step my shit up. I'm gonna graduate from my fucking champagne here to some NyQuil myself. Let's get fucking weird. Anyway, I think that's it. Is that it?
I think that's it.
That might be
the end
it.
of the show.
It might be the end of the show. Shit.
The end of yeah.
Wait.
Good show.
Did I? Oh no! Did I close down my MyCircle accidentally? Fuck me. Oh no. Oh no.
Did you find some more Japanese instructional videos on how not to get robbed?
No, it's fine. It's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Everything is okay.
It's all good.
It's all good. It's all good, dude. It's all good. I wanted to find something really fast before I... There we go. That's what I wanted. Got it. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, by all means, please, for the love of fucking shit-loving Christ, bacon biscuit on a fucking cracker, go and subscribe to Pimpmunk. Our bro, we love him very, very much.
Love you guys too.
Go subscribe to him. We'll see you on Wednesday for the Midweek Saints, and then again here every Friday for the YouTube Saints. We have been your YouTube Saints.
And actually, next Friday is the last show of the year, isn't it?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, God damn.
Two left in the year. We'll do our end of the year episode.
Yeah, I'm so glad I named this episode what I did. It does seem so far away now. I just want this year to end.
It does. It absolutely does. I don't know, man. Everything's weird. Everything's very strange. I don't know what just happened with me right there.
I think 2019 is gonna be a fucking crazy year.
You think it's gonna be crazy? I hope it is.
I'm gonna build a house.
Are you? I'm gonna build a shit.
You're gonna build a shit?
Yeah, I'm just gonna build
a corn dog, a microwave.
Actually, I do have a
microwave corn dog shit. Yeah.
I'm gonna buy my mom. I'm trying to buy my mom a house this year. You get houses down here really cheap, like 40, 50,000.
We're talking like YouTube money cheap. Like basically, if you just look at the thing, it belongs to you, and you got to pay the state taxes after that.
Just kill somebody and take the house.
Right? Yeah. No, I know. Everything's getting crazy, dude. Everything's getting out of control. Everything's going fucking bananas right now. Nobody knows what the fuck is up right now. Everything is totally out of control.
Dogs and cats living together.
That's right. Everything's fucking crazy. You don't know where we're going. God damn it. We'll see you guys next time. We love you very much. Get the fuck out of here. Go fuck yourself. It's fine. Bye-bye.